Last week on the podcast.
I have a great guest today, Wendell Philp. He is the advisory committee for Osceola County.
Pleasure, Thomas. Thanks for having me. That's
Absolutely.
Right. It's AHAC, which is the Affordable Housing Advisor Committee, and we get to do a lot of great things here and make recommendations.
Welcome back to the podcast.
You know, I got to meet the HUD secretary. I forget his name. He used to play for the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
I got to meet him last April at the expo for manufactured housing here. Wow. And man, what great vision he has. And one thing he did was they have a table of all the different house classification types. And manufactured homes did not have a seat at that table. Now we do. Because he believes this is one of the cures
Oh, it is.
for the housing epidemic.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, one thing, it's like, did you realize that in Florida, only 7% or less of the homes being built are 1,450 square feet or smaller?
Wow.
Right? 7%.
That's huge.
People are building these big monstrosities because they built Osceola up like crazy for Airbnb and Disney, the BTR.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
And those are needed. Don't get me wrong,
Right.
and they should be taxed more. But that's not affordable. Some of those homes are just amazing.
Right.
We own one. I'm going to be honest. We own one. We use it for things once in a while. Like we had a team meeting there. It's great. It got great Star Wars characters. Like in the garage.
Okay.
That's like a.
I've seen those.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
I got pictures with me and the Star Wars guy. You know, whatever, because they have the guns, the stormtrooper, right?
Gotcha.
And
okay.
but I understand the need for that for sure.
Absolutely.
But I also understand more of a need for housing.
Absolutely.
You know. And if you look at, take Marion County, for example, which is a very depreciating market now. We probably did, in our first 2 years, 30 projects in Marion County. Okay. It was a good place to learn because it was relatively inexpensive when you made mistakes, and we did. Okay. Impact fees used to be $1,500 in 2023. They're almost $8,000 today.
Wow.
7,700. It's a big change,
jump.
right? And the big driver of growth there was the World Equestrian Centers. Because people who were going to be working there full time, not for the center, but for the owner of horses. Mm. And we built for this one lady, we built 4 or 5 homes on separate for her employees. Okay. She had no concept of money.
Wow.
To ship a horse there is about, she said, $40,000.
Wow.
So if you're spending $40K to ship a horse, you don't have a need to worry about things.
No. Just do it.
And so once that driver ended, the market just dropped. So we don't really do a lot of work there.
Okay.
In Osceola County, the Airbnb BTR is not being built right now. The interest rates are too prohibitive for companies to be involved because they go borrow money at 7% plus.
Right.
It's not there for them, the margins anymore. And you know what? That market has really shrunk.
It has.
Even Airbnb, when you see what they're renting for.
Oh, they're very low. And that's if you get it rented. And I had this conversation with my fiance last night. I was talking about, because I own real estate and different aspects of it, long-term rentals, short-term, VRB, and one of the properties is a co-living property, right? And I compared, initially I was going to turn that property into an Airbnb VRBO property. And I looked at the numbers last night in terms of what I was able to achieve in 8 months with that property in co-living versus
Not even close.
Not even close. The cash flow is night and day.
And you know what? If you ever have to refinance or pull money out, that co-living, they love that steady. That Airbnb,
it's not steady.
It's not steady.
It's not steady at
They're
all.
only giving you 60% of the yearly value.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. No, it's not, because it's not always rented.
That's true. That is true.
And this market, when we throw a party, like family party, we have them all the time. We don't do that at our house. We got smart. We don't have to clean up.
Right. My birthday is going to be at Disney, Old Key West.
Yeah, great place, right? So, but I'll go and get an Airbnb. I'll bring all the family. I'll invite kids, friends, and their parents, because if your child is coming, send a mom or a dad. I'll give you, get some of those 13, 14 room places, okay? Right. I like when they have the wave pools and all the craziness
absolutely.
some of them have,
absolutely.
right?
Yes.
And guess what? I don't have to clean up, right? My wife loves me so much better for that, right? But lesson learned, second marriage, right?
Yeah.
But you know what? When I look at the prices, they're just a third of the daily rate sometimes of what it was.
That's true.
In 22.
They're just trying to get bodies in there.
They just don't want to have to pay the mortgage.
Correct. So if they can break even or have some of that money come in to offset their expenses.
I have a friend he owns a property management company there, and he'll tell me, he said, hey, I got some great deals coming up. I'm like, man, okay, what do I need to do to like what kind of event do I need to have, right?
Tell me about some of those deals because I'm open to that as well. I love doing things outside of the home, to your point, because the cleanup afterwards is just it's a mess. You know, you're left with everything.
Yeah, you know what? I when we did like our daughter's baby shower and all the craziness in the house, it was me. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do this. No. You know, first of all, I'm a bad cleaner.
Right.
Because I always take off my glasses so I can't see anything. Therefore, no one asked me to help again. But it doesn't let you, then during the party, I'm trying to tidy up instead of enjoying.
Correct. And that's what you do, because you're almost doing it in a stage, right? You're because you don't want to have everything left when people leave.
I can't, yeah.
When they're out the door, then you're stuck.
My OCD would go nuts.
Little by little, I'm the same way. So you're right. It takes away from that entertainment piece of it because you're cleaning up.
And what I do is when I go to a place and I say, okay, we're going to have 20 people come, I rent a place that will fit at least that, if not more.
Yeah.
And I tell them, hey, I'm going to have 20 guests. I'm within the number. I always make sure it's, you know.
Of course.
And I'll tell them, hey, I'm having all my family. We're celebrating my daughter's birthday.
Right.
So we're, you know, because they say no parties. Well, it's my 8-year-old, 6-year-old.
It's a party.
Different.
It's a different kind of party. But
It's not like I'm, you know, it's.
Like when Airbnb first came out, or when they became popular, in my subdivision, they had a party, man. They had cars lined up on every street, and it turned out to be a very chaotic thing because there were shootings afterwards, and so that's one of the things that
you gotta have the boundaries to it, and I agree to that 100%.
I agree with that as well. But see, that's why I love, like, you love what you do with those properties, right? Whether it be Reunion or some other place. I love.
I only have the one. That's it. We're a partner in it.
Okay.
You know?
Well, I do the Disney piece, and I just love that because one, security, plenty of parking. Disney has, what do you call that? What do you call that thing for the grapes?
Trellis.
So Disney has lots of trellis for their guests, and so that's a good thing. And so I can, like you, I can invite, you know, as many within the trellis.
Yeah.
And the housekeeper will come and
I love that.
Take care of that afterwards. You know.
So you're employing people.
Yeah.
You're keeping things correct.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, there's nothing wrong with doing it. You're doing it by the guidelines.
Correct.
And we always reach out. Like, you know, since we're on Airbnb with this, what we're partnership in. So we understand the importance of good reviews and everything.
Oh, absolutely.
And look, I've only left one bad review because I have no problem calling and saying, hey,
let's fix this.
I'm one of these people just like you.
Right.
But, you know, I showed up and this is an issue.
Correct.
And we've had it happen twice. Once they were amazing about it. Once they weren't. You know what? I was on vacation. I left.
I've done that twice.
The power went out for no reason.
Wow.
The kitchen didn't work.
Wow.
It's like, oh, well, like, no.
There's
We
no
have a big,
excuse.
you know, and I just moved to a different house. And so now I'm really cognizant of, my wife said, did you check the reviews? No, I'm a guy. I didn't check the reviews. Why would I do that?
Listen, this is exactly, I've had a few of those nightmares in that scenario without calling them out. But that's why I love Disney, right? Their standard is different. And I'm not saying that you're going to have that outside all the time, because you just articulated that. It happened a couple of times. You know what you're going to get at Disney. And
I'm going to give you a good Disney story I have.
Being there 16 years, you know, you see the culture, you know the standards, right? And so every chance I get to go and enjoy and experience it, man, I'm there. And people say, but how do you enjoy it so much? I'm like, how do you not?
I'm not a Disney fan.
Okay, so you're away from, but it takes you out of the reality.
But I like Busch Gardens, SeaWorld.
Okay.
I mean, we used to have season passes.
Got it.
But my son got too old. Like, he was 9. He's like, dude, this is kind of lame now. I'm like, all right, dude, I got you.
Yeah.
There is, I can't remember his name, but I'm going to give him to you eventually. He's a motivational speaker, coach, author. He moved from Tennessee to Florida.
Okay.
And there was he took his autistic son to Disney. Okay. And so his son, they went to have breakfast at one of the restaurants, and they didn't have apple pancakes. So they made a request. Okay. The head chef came out, this woman, and took down, because he had food allergies, it had to be done, you know, and so with autistic kids, there is very much a need for very good structure.
Absolutely.
So they didn't think anything of it. Next day they came back. You know what they had?
Apple pancakes. Yeah.
The correct way. Now, this was for one special needs guest, of course, right? And there was a saying over there, and the guy wrote a book on it called Apple Pancakes.
Wow.
Okay? So this autistic boy of 9 kept in touch with this chef.
Wow.
So then they said he would never graduate high school or college, yet he did. Guess where he went to work after that?
Disney.
Disney.
I believe it.
And the family moved here. Now he's kept in touch with this chef. That's like another parent to him.
Absolutely.
But Disney had a philosophy in this man's book about be the apple pancake person.
Right.
Here, laser focus, handle this.
Absolutely.
And you know what? They didn't stock the ingredients. They do now.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what time frame this had to be, like, years ago, but it was the apple pancake method.
Wow.
It's their version of make this
they
a
go above and
special
beyond.
place.
Absolutely.
Oh, my coach is a huge Disney fan.
Good.
But he only does the trips now where it's the guided trips and bougie
Makes
taken
sense.
care of. But you know what? He was a man who almost died from Lyme disease.
Wow.
And he wanted to go to Disney one more time before he hit it big, let me tell you. And he got a guided tour, and it was just to be able to be revel in it as a kid would. Okay?
Absolutely.
And let me tell you, he probably goes to Disney 60 times a year.
I believe it.
60 times. And it's just, that's his, but he talks about the culture, not the culture wars it's involved with, but the
Right.
culture of how they do business.
Correct.
For
Taking care of the
for
guests.
the guest.
Correct.
And
We
again,
call them cherished friends and family.
yeah,
Is what we call our guests.
knowing they're, when you make a reservation, they have your names ready.
Yes.
They're looking for you sometimes.
Oh, it's funny. I remember I had a guest that I'd booked something for, and when they arrived at the Riviera, they already knew who he was.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't believe it. Mm-hmm. Like, welcome so-and-so. And that's how they operate. You go to most, you're not going to get that in any other hotel, unfortunately.
You know what? I got a lot of points with some hotels because of travel, and they're like, Mr. Lehmann, good to see you.
Okay, that's a good
right?
thing. That's a good thing, yeah. It's
Yeah.
just, they just go above and beyond. And I can, from the 16 years that I was there, I could tell you stories of how the company goes above and beyond.
Oh, yeah.
And just making dreams come true, especially with Make-A-Wish. It's an incredible example of what a company should do, and that's what you're doing even with your business, right? Providing affordable housing, walking every home, right? Creating an experience where you're offsetting some of the costs so that you're not even getting the profit that you want, but you're creating an experience going above and beyond. And I think we all innately have a little of that in us. We all do, and it's just, do we embrace it? We do. The rest of us could, but sometimes we choose not to. We let the almighty dollar dictate the terms, and that's where we fail at times. We fail to really make a difference.
Because we pray to a dollar bill
Yeah.
instead of the guy upstairs,
Absolutely.
right? And we talked about it. You're not going to take it with you.
No,
It doesn't make a difference sometimes,
No.
right? Look, so I was in the health food business years and years ago. Okay, I was really good at it.
I can see it.
No, this is like, I weigh less now than I did in ninth grade.
Wow.
I weigh 196 pounds this morning. When I hit ninth grade, I was over 200.
Oh man.
I hit a high of 265 at one point. Now I keep myself 192 to 197 is the number. I
But
try
you
to
look-
stay with
you
the
look
5 pounds. Thank you,
fantastic.
sir. My
Yeah.
wife calls me a bobblehead, though. It's okay. But for me, it's a better health.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I don't need blood pressure medications at this weight.
Good.
My son weighs more than me. He's not my height yet, so we'll see. And I was making, honestly, some good weeks, like in 2000 through 05, 100K a week. I lived in Miami. You can get into a lot of trouble, let me tell you. I couldn't name the idiot things you do because I didn't grow up with money.
Right.
So when I had it, I didn't know how to keep it.
Makes sense.
Had 11 cars.
Wow.
None of them made in America, by the way. Okay?
Exotic.
Yes. What a dumb thing, depreciating assets. I don't own a car today. My company owns them, but not me.
Yeah, that's a smart
I don't
thing.
own things.
Yeah.
I had to walk away. I had to walk away from it. The world was ending technically. It was 08, 09. But, and I'm open about it. I had a drug problem that only that kind of money could hide because you never ran out.
Right.
And, I got pulled over, going over 100 on Collins the wrong way in a souped up Mercedes.
Wow.
The cop was a customer of my stores. We give all them people stuff for free.
Oh,
We
man,
knew how to
that's
take care of
awesome.
them.
That's awesome.
And good and bad, he didn't write me a ticket. He didn't arrest me as he should have.
Right.
He made me sit in embarrassment on this high curb on Collins for 5 hours. I was coming home, it was 10 a.m. You know how hot it is in July?
Wow.
Okay, so now a woman who was like another mom to me was staying in the condo I owned right there. Blue and Green Diamond in Miami, I still own it. She came out, she saw me, win her way, right? When I saw her that night, she said, "You're just like your father." My father was an alcoholic. Now, I used alcohol to like level me out, but it wasn't my thing, right?
Right.
I quit everything cold turkey on those words. Cold turkey, nothing. And I'm out 6 nights a week. If it could be 8 nights, I bet you I would have went out 8 nights, okay? Because it was Miami.
Right. Miami
and then
is
after,
something else.
yeah,
Like
and
Vegas.
when you have money like that, nothing's an issue. And it didn't stop, but it was 08, 09, the economy was just...
Yeah.
I talked to my accountant, and he was like, just walk away. And so I was a shut-in for about 3-4 months, because that's the only environment I know.
Right.
I know nothing else. I've walked away from God at this point.
Right.
Because I'm the almighty dollar. You know what I was back then? Never happy. I had everything I wanted.
Right.
And it was always, well, if I have that, I'll be fulfilled. Never.
Wow.
I was never fulfilled. And within 4 months, I got rid of the company. Partnership that I had there, I sold out to him. Okay? Moved to California. And I had to find who I am. Because I lost my way. I was raised better than this. Barely, but I was, right? These weren't the guides and principles my mom put into me.
Right.
And so now we fast forward to here. Last year, a woman who I dated in high school, I haven't talked to since 2002, 3. Just lose touch, right? We were high school sweethearts, dated on and off, lived together, broke up, that whole thing, right? Her current boyfriend, now soon to be husband, was watching my podcast.
Oh, wow.
She heard my voice.
Wow.
She said, I didn't recognize you, but I heard you. And she said to me, you look so much more comfortable in your skin today than ever before.
Wow.
And she knew me when I was 13 through 20-something, almost 30 years old. And to say that
that's powerful.
was a powerful, it was a very good compliment.
Absolutely.
Because I feel that way today, because I lost my way.
Right.
And the great thing about God, you know, we may walk away from him, but he doesn't walk away from us.
He does not.
And, you know, faith in the journey of this and getting here, you have to be comfortable with not knowing. Okay?
That's true, and that's tough.
Yeah, oh my God, especially for like, you know, control freaks sometimes, right? But it's, the headlights only show so far.
Absolutely.
And it's like you're driving on a windy mountain road at night. You're not going to see around the corner.
No, you're not.
But if he showed you everything he had in store for you, but the work it takes,
you wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it.
No.
And so maybe he gives you a good glimpse when you're 3/4 away up the mountain, and you're like, man, that's a... But it's too far to go back now.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
But that's the part of faith. You have to just accept it. And, you know, my wife says, you're like optimistic all the time. I said, you know I'm going to win. I just don't know how.
Right. Or when. Yeah.
And if he wants me to go left, he's going to let me know, because the door will close and a door will open. Look, I was praying for some things, some really big things, and one of them happened, but it didn't happen as I envisioned it to happen.
Makes sense.
But I'm not God.
Right.
And when I'm sitting there one day and I'm like, this is done. Wow. I just didn't think of it this way. Because I'm not as smart as him, am I?
None of us are.
But I bet
we
you
think that we are.
Oh, yeah. Because we want to, you know, my favorite saying, man plan, God laughs.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because look, mobile homes, manufactured homes. I used to never even go near them.
They have, people give them a stigma.
Mm-hmm. And I came from New York, so we were like, yeah, right? But when I went into this, my wife and I, we wanted a life. And we wanted the business to eventually give us this life. And it wasn't crazy. You know what we wanted to be? Present for our children. Every day, be there every day, never miss anything. Done. Be able to take care of our family. My mom was a senior citizen of age. She had a lot of health issues. I promised her she would never go to a home. That's why I moved from California here to take care of her.
Wow.
Okay? And then she got to have my grandchildren around, her grandchildren, and that was just a powerful 8 years.
That's huge.
The best 8 years.
Yeah, that's
okay?
huge.
Take care of our in-laws and our other family. The business gives us all that.
Thank God.
Now where God did the joke, it's going to be from manufactured housing. Exactly, right? And I laughed at that because he's like, I'm going to give you what you want, but you were a little snobbish about this, so you're going to be like the mobile home guy. Isn't that funny?
That is hugely funny. Wow.
And my wife's like, you're laughing at it. I'm like, why? We got what we wanted.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter to her, right? But she's like, but you hated those things. No, I love them.
Yeah.
now, because this is what it was supposed to be.
Absolutely.
I thought I would be building spec homes, and I did a few.
Which is, we take pride in that.
I take pride in what I do still now.
But
right?
no, but I'm just saying, because you look at the two, most people want to go to that spec home, that, block and stucco.
Right.
They don't realize that it's the same mobile manufacturer is the same. It's a single family home. It's just one is built.
Stigma.
Yeah.
Stigma,
That's
prestige,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And God said, this is your humble moment, right?
This is incredible.
But I want you to fill this niche as I know you can.
Yeah.
I look at it that way, because I'm going to take, when we built and when we flipped, we were the same. Like, we're going to give the best we can. And I just take that effort that you've never given before, Tom, and come over here. Because this market, this niche, these people need to be served just like everybody else.
Absolutely.
Like, okay, you know what? I worked on flips for like $1 million plus homes. They never cared.
No. They're never there.
They never, right? They didn't matter.
No.
These people, they care, they love it, they're thankful.
Correct.
And the joy you get out of giving them the keys. I was telling the new manager, I said, I can't wait till you experience this. She's like, why? Life-changing. We don't live in them, but we care for them just like we did. And when you impact somebody's life with home ownership, wow.
That's huge.
Let me talk about giving you the American dream. Here's your keys.
Absolutely.
Right? And then being a part of that, as you know, man, it just makes the world go round for us.
And you have the same wealth, right? Because you're no longer a tenant, you're a homeowner, and there's equity in that home, and you can transition from there to wherever you want to go within the means of those equity dollars that you have in your possession, right? But the caveat is you'll always more than likely get to that next level. Everyone that I've ever sold a home to, once they decided to sell, they had equity. And they made a much better jump, and they had money in the bank afterwards. So kudos to you and your company for what you do in creating affordability, because right now when you think about stick and mortar built, they're
$420 starting point.
Yeah, they're not affordable.
They're not.
You're still in an affordable place where someone can have a nice home. And in fact, if someone has never seen the interior, a lot of these mobile manufactured homes are way nicer, better interior materials than I've seen in some of these stick-built homes. But most people don't see that. They don't know that. They have this stigma about what a mobile manufactured home should look like.
I always say it's not grandmama's place anymore,
No, they're beautiful. They're beautiful.
And, I had one of my very first sales, 2020, I think it was like December or January 23. And this woman bought a little it was a 1,100 square foot single wide, okay? Under $200,000. She had zero down money. That's how we got her into that home. Zero down. Zero.
Wow.
Right? She sold it just last fall, September.
Okay.
She walked away with a $47,000 check.
Wow.
She was paying rent in Tampa for her daughter and two sons in a 2-bedroom.
Wow.
2 boys in one.
Okay.
Her and her daughter in a bed in another. Right?
Okay.
Now she had a 3-bedroom, so the boys still lived together, but they got their own beds, right? And the girl had her own. Okay. But she's a homeowner. And I think her mortgage back then was like 13, 14, right around.
Okay.
PITI, all in, good number. Almost, it was half of what she was paying for rent.
Wow.
Now she has a 45-minute drive into Tampa from where it was. Okay, but guess what? We built around the right roads.
Absolutely.
Okay, because we build in with that in mind. So she sells, she walks away with a check, and she saved $18,000 in her own account. So let me ask you, what do you think she bought next?
Oh, she bought another mobile.
No. She bought a duplex.
She bought a duplex.
A duplex.
Was it a mobile manufactured duplex or just
no.
stick built?
Brick block home.
Okay.
But she also took the financial literacy classes we told her about.
Okay.
She lives in a 4-2 over here. Now each kid has their own room,
and
right?
rents the other side.
And she says, I'm only $100 out of pocket for mortgage every month. Oh my God.
But it started with that mobile manufactured home. And we talked about that wealth gap, right? She $47,000 plus what she saved. That to me, number one, I tell people all the time, you're never going to save your way to wealth. You have to make decisions, owning a home, doing things, invest. And so she invested in that home. You helped.
It looked great when she sold it too.
You helped to get there, and it gained equity. Now, where can you go and get that kind of return in 4 years?
3.
3 years? 3 years?
But the land appreciated.
3 years.
She sold it for 30 grand plus, more than she paid for it.
Yeah.
Right? And then with the equity, she, because she was making, you ready for this? She was doing the one payment.
Right.
And a principal. One payment and a principal.
Wow.
From day one.
Wow.
Ooh.
And people don't realize that.
Oh.
When you own a home, that's your piggy bank.
Yeah.
You're throwing money into your piggy bank for however many years you put that money in. We know that the first 5-10 years, you're not getting as much in that piggy bank, but over time you do, plus the appreciation. So you combine those two, you're on your way to wealth.
When we bought this house, I make an extra payment of never less than $1,000 a month since day one. I got a couple of years left. We've been in since 2017.
Wow.
Okay. I just know what the mortgage is, right? It's under 100K. And it's like, My wife's like, but why? I'm like,
you want to be debt free?
I'll never sell it.
Right.
No, I don't believe in being debt free.
Right.
There's good debt, bad debt.
There's good debt. But that house, you probably want to
if I
eliminate.
sell it, they would kill me on taxes.
Yeah.
But if I take a home equity line against it or whatever, right, that's free.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. She's like, oh, so you can build me my home by the lake? No. Maybe one day. I don't know. Right?
One day.
But those are the. I didn't grow up with anybody taught me how to have money.
Right.
So when I had it the first time, I threw it away.
Most of us do.
Yeah, and I don't throw it away today. I use it very effectively.
Absolutely.
Because it's a tool.
That's the biggest reason for divorce is most of them go into it with no financial literacy. And I know that one of the things that you and I talked about in my background is we are big on financial literacy. You talked about the course that your home buyer took, and we heavily recommend the HUD 8-hour Homebuyer Course. It talks about credit, inspection, the right realtor, home warranty. Goes into so much depth that's a class that every homeowner should take because it really helps them align themselves properly in terms of keeping that home.
Maybe that's something like, do you bring to your committee as a thing, say, hey, we're going to give people a lot of money. Maybe we should have them take these courses, right?
They do.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
In fact, it's actually on the Ocala.org website. In order to access SHIP funds and down payment, you have to go through that HUD approved 8-hour homebuyer workshop. And so even with my financial literacy course, like I teach Credit 101, right? Which we're just helping folks understand that this country is built on credit. Every aspect of it. We borrow money from different places. Yeah. China being probably the biggest one that we borrow money from.
We're getting away from that.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, tariffs have us borrowing less unless the Supreme Court goes and gives it back.
That's true. But the idea of paying cash for everything, it sounds great in concept, but in reality, it's not enough cash.
Right?
And you'll never save enough to go and buy a $250,000 home. Let's just face it. You need to leverage your credit.
Just like, I hate when Trump talks. Just shut up, dude. And I can be honest, like I'm middle of the road, okay? Right. The last guy was dead man walking. Right. Okay, this guy is dead man talking. Like, shut up. It's like wake up or shut up. Can we get a guy who's not 80? Right. Please. Right. How about that? Yeah. Right? But with his whole idea of being we're gonna cap it at 10%. Sounds great. Everyone's like, oh, this is phenomenal. You have just destroyed those people who have marginal credit. Because guess what? They do pay more for a reason because of their credit risk.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now the goal is, okay, we're going to give you the credit card. Right. You're going to pay more interest. Take care of your credit. Get better because this gets lowered. Correct. They will get affected. Correct. They'll get cut. Big time. You and I aren't getting cut. No. Okay, they keep upping my cards, right? Hoping I get in trouble, but I pay them weekly. You're not going to get in trouble. You probably have 20 cards like I do. Well, they're all in my business, to be fair, and they always told me
15 is in my business, 5 is personal.
I have a couple personal, but they're all still tied to the same bank as my business because they like to see that money move, right? Absolutely. And they told me, oh, you'll have to give us a P&L once you pass $250,000 on your credit cards. Blown past that. They never ask for it. They don't. I just sent them an email. We have new companies. Hey, I need new bank accounts because I use Chase. I need new bank accounts. I need new credit cards. They're like, I'm a private client. They're like, you want to come in? You want us to come to you? I'm like, because they'll come to my house. Come to me. Come to me. And last time that happened, he brought me really good coffee too. I love it. I do, right? But that's the value of it.
But see, that's the power of financial literacy. The power of credit. We're not bragging about the money that we have. We're talking about how when you use credit properly, when you understand that your lines increase, your buying power increases. You and I have Amexes, we have Chase, we have different cards.
I don't like Amex. I had a problem with them once.
But the fact that we have these, the average person that I see as a client, their credit limit is between $500 and $1,000. You and I are sitting on like 30, 100, 50, because of the time that we've taken to use it, pay it, use it, pay it.
You know what my credit card bill out there was for the week?
No.
In the company?
$90,000. Wow.
And that's projected money, right?
Of
because
course,
so what I do is then
material.
Right. You know, whatever the costs are, it's
Right.
I like credit card payments, even though it's 3%, I'm
Right.
protected, all hooked up to Amazon points. Love you, Amazon.
Yeah.
I don't care
Mine
about
is
anything else.
Southwest and
but
Yeah.
So a couple different companies, different cards, and I get a report, and then what happens is the project account pays their bill to that card weekly. Every Friday I do it. I just didn't get to it this morning. I said, let me release this,
Right.
I don't want them mad at me.
Right.
But because, for instance, one of the cards have like $100,000 limit. My team has those cards. They could go crazy,
That's a
right?
big deal.
We were over 40,000 over on one of the cards. They just kept, and then finally they stopped it. And I'm like, what are you doing? You put it all on the one card. It's, where the projects are. He's like, oh, I forgot. It was supposed to be like
Spread it
70 and
out.
70, whatever it was.
Correct.
And so it's like, yeah, they just declined this last one. And I'm like, well, yeah, because
You're using the same
it was
card.
a Saturday morning. I didn't pay it Friday. I forgot.
Got it.
And it was at 140 on a $100,000 card. They let 40K more go through.
Because of your good repayment history, your credit.
And you know what? It was zero the next day.
And by the way, so that's the number. We talk about the factors. There are 5 factors. Payment history is number 1. So your on-time payment is the biggest, is the most important thing you can do for
Pay
credit.
them early.
Yeah, that's what I do too. And then amounts owed, right? You don't want to max out those cards, but in your case, you pay them in a week, so you're not
Never
even
get there.
You never get there. They
get
never
there.
see it, never reports, right? But that's a big impact. Length of credit, how long you've had those trade lines. People have a tendency of wanting to close credit cards, and I'm like, don't do that. That's your credit history. That could negatively impact your scores.
Yeah.
And then new credit and types of credit.
Yep.
Those are the 5 factors that determines your FICO score. And we teach those things, how to use it. I got people that tell me, I'm afraid of credit cards. I don't want any credit cards, or I've closed all my credit cards. And once you educate them about how to use it, how to pay it on time, if you've got the cash, great. Then use the card, get the points, get the credit, and then pay the bill. Like you do.
Never. I have debit cards, right? I've never activated them. They're in the safe.
I don't even trust them.
I don't, because
Yeah.
here's the difference, right? And correct me if I'm wrong. Debit card, my money. Credit card, bank money.
Correct.
Bank will go to war for their money.
Yeah, they do.
They're not going to war for my money.
No, they're not.
Oh, your debit card got swiped and the money's gone?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fill out a form and we'll talk later.
Correct. They'll get it back, but
No, maybe. But they're not arguing like they would for their money.
No, the credit card, that's a whole other story.
Right.
Absolutely.
And we've had vendors who...
OPM.
Yeah, exactly. I've called up Chase and said, hey, this was so, we pay vendors with credit cards because we can hold them accountable.
Absolutely.
And I said, hey, they put the other payment through. They weren't authorized. They didn't finish. Pull it back.
Absolutely.
And they did.
There's power in that, by the way.
Because the vendor wasn't answering me. He's like, screw you. I paid you, right? You're done, right? And then they asked me, oh, well, he put through 4 here and 4 there. Do you want both pulled back? Yes, please.
Absolutely.
You know what I did? You know what happened? My phone rang finally.
Of course.
Because now, guess what?
Accountability.
All that money's out of his checking account.
Yeah.
And now, you want to talk? Now I wouldn't talk to you today.
I need your audience to understand what you just said, because people like to, again, for those of you that want to pay everything with cash, because you've been told cash is king, credit is everything. And when you pay with cash, and I always tell my clients, never pay anything with cash. If you've got a credit card, great, but if you don't, use a check. Because you can people can say, well, you never paid me. I gave you cash. No, you didn't pay me. Now it's your word against mine. But that credit card, man, that credit card payment, Thomas, you're right. I can tell you so many stories of monies that I've pulled back because a vendor didn't do the right thing, or a contractor messed up somewhere and they didn't want to come back. But that credit card, when you pull that money back, guess what they do? They come back. They make it right.
Yeah.
And then you release the funds back to them because now both parties are happy.
Yep.
You did a great job for me. Here's your compensation.
Right. I want to pay you, but I want it paid correctly.
Absolutely.
And so that's it's a leverage.
Absolutely. And that's financial literacy.
Yeah, well, that's what you learn.
Yeah. But not taught in school.
It should be.
It should
I teach
be.
to my child.
I love it.
Both of them. My oldest wants to be an accountant, and he's like, hey, Pop, do you use accounting? And I was like, I showed him what I pay just the monthly person who's a CPA,
Yeah.
not even the tax guy, because she prepares it for him.
Wow.
Okay? I never want to be audited. I have
Right.
2 CPAs handling everything. It's crazy. You send a P&L to somebody and you put your name on it, and they're like Sherlock Holmes in every dollar in there, right?
Absolutely.
They put their little name on with all the little numbers after it, and
No questions asked.
approved, whatever it is. It's
yes,
like,
yes.
but I got a master's in this. It doesn't matter. We don't trust you, but
Yeah.
But that's the reason for it.
There's power in using experts in their field. People don't understand that. We talk about credit and we talk about financial
Experts in
literacy.
my companies more than me.
Absolutely.
The same thing.
And so when they stamp it, it's not that you don't know, and you could do it,
Not
but
as well.
it's a whole nother level of
Yeah.
expertise, right? And it's respected differently because now there's trust. Oh, CPA did it? Oh, okay. It's not the owner that did it.
Right.
It's the CPA that did it. Oh, you got
'Cause she sees everything.
Correct. You got a tax. You got a tax professional, or you've got a credit guy. Oh, okay. We'll talk to your credit guy.
Yeah.
You have an attorney. Oh, we'll talk to your attorney. There's always something to be said about that next level of professionalism that you think you know it. You know, people that go represent themselves in court. Yeah, you can represent yourself in a court of law, and you may get by. But what if you had an attorney? What if you had a CPA or financial advisor?
Yeah.
It's a whole nother ball game.
But people, so you have to spend it to make it.
You do.
And I look at it, when I pivoted into this, my coach said, you need to get bankable. So then my tax guy recommended this other person he knows, another CPA, and she did a forensic audit of my last 3 years of business. She cleaned up all my books. And the goal was to hand it off to somebody else. We got along so well, and she loves what I do. She says it's interesting who you help. This is a completely different mindset. And she stayed on.
Wow.
Then she told me what it would cost me monthly. Thought I'd be shocked. Here's what I said. How many hours a week am I saving? So I figured that if I'm not doing this paperwork anymore, it's 10 hours a week. So my hourly back then was about $600. It's about $1,000 today an hour.
Wow.
So 600 times 10 a week times
money.
4 weeks.
Wow.
Man, I stole her time, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You know, because it was like $3,000 then. It's like 5,000 now because there's more than 5 more companies. Okay.
Right.
I still feel I'm getting away with a value because I have the expert. I have no involvement. Like my operations secretary and her talk all the time. Those guys do the books and the paperwork, not me.
No.
And I have 10 hours a week freed up for other things.
That's incredible.
Right? And people don't really understand the value of their time to that. I want you to go home and figure this out and then text me.
Absolutely.
Hey, it's like, you know what it is? Your net profit, hours a week work, divided by all the numbers at the end of the year, and you're going to see what it's worth.
Wow.
And then you say to yourself, this is my hourly. Anything under for me, if it's under half of my hourly, I'm farming it out. A quarter or less, so $250 or less, it's definitely not touching me.
Makes sense.
Because I need to be doing other things. Because who can do this? A lot. Who can do what I do? Not a lot,
Not a
right?
lot.
And if you start thinking that way, but that's the change in becoming a better leader. Because you can jump in and do anything you need done. But should you? And if you do,
What is it worth?
what is it worth? But what are you not doing that
you should be
only
doing?
you can do?
That's true.
Okay?
Wow.
Your job is to move the needle.
Right. And
Okay,
you're
not
if
support
you're-
the needle. It's to move it, right? And when you see that, and it comes,
Wow.
look, life is math, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Does somebody add or subtract value to your life? Are you plus profit or negative loss?
Right.
And the math of those numbers right there, when you really look into that, just like the math of how many days you may have left.
Right.
What do those days become worth to you? If you knew you had 7,000 only days left, they're precious.
Absolutely.
And if the hours of that then become even more valuable, and learning that for me was the flick of the switch, because I may not have
That's
those
something
days
to
left,
be taught.
right?
Honestly, that is something to be taught, because the perspective you just put it in, you're like, wow, it hit you like a ton of bricks.
So you ask my children, what's more valuable to them, time or money? They're going to tell you time.
Time, yeah. And there's a company that I was involved in, and one of the leaders taught a course and he called it Father Time. And it was all about time and time management and the fact that you'll never get that time back once it's gone. And that's such a powerful thing. And I think combining what you shared and combining what I've learned from him, that's something that we really need to share with the rest of the world. Because
well, that's what this is for,
Yeah.
right? I mean, get the word out. Understand. Look, I have ADD, if you didn't know, and I can be really, really focused and dialed in. but someone had to break me of what I thought was. I think it's a superpower in the sense that what I can do and flow and energy.
Right.
But he said to me, I was at a seminar, and he made me write a sentence. I forget what it was. It was like, the brown pen is broken, whatever, right?
Okay.
And then put 14 or 15 lines down, number it, and I want you to write that sentence out, one letter at a time per line. So if it was the brown, you know, the T, 8, what the hell is this?
Wow.
And he tracked me, right? And then he said, write it now. So how long it took me to do this was, it was each one of those sentences took me 4 times as long as just writing it out.
Wow.
No matter, and it was just a mathematical equation he showed. I'm like, oh, so yeah, maybe I should focus more, right? So then I learned to time block. I learned to, I have my phone on, right? Because one of the things we need to understand is that not everybody who has access to you should. People will waste our times.
They do.
Okay?
They do.
And that's a hard thing. Like, if you can get past Jeannie, we'll have a call, right? Good luck, though, right? Because she's going to ask you she's going to make sure I'm the right person to speak to.
Makes sense.
Okay? Because she's the guardian, because I have so much time only.
Right.
And if you can get past her, like I said, good job.
Then you've made it.
You'll be in my calendar. And she's going to ask you the 3 questions. And if you don't answer the questions, you still don't get in the calendar.
Right.
But that's a great role, because I'll give it away way too early, way too quick. And then what's left? I can't get my work done. I can't have time with my family, because those honestly, my family's more important.
Absolutely.
And you know,
absolutely.
because we have to learn that other people's emergencies are not ours.
And sometimes they want it to be. And it feels like where we are today, in most cases, it's every day. Somebody has an emergency, and they want you to stop what you're doing and take care of their issues. You know, I think there's another thing you have there in your questions, and if I'm not mistaken, it's what matters most or what's more important to you. I think they're along those lines, right? And you and I are very health conscious, you know, and I'm a big proponent of the oxygen mask, right? Oftentimes we don't do that. We don't put on our mask first, and we think it's selfish, but it really isn't.
But that's my morning routine.
Correct.
Because if you don't take care of you, how do you take care of them?
You can't. You won't,
know?
right? And so, you know, if there's anything that I would, of all the nuggets that we've shared today, it's take care of you.
It's
and
not selfish.
That time blocking, but you have to be. That time blocking, that moment of silence, that meditation.
But that's not selfish, because you need to be right and centered so you can help other people achieve their goals.
Correct.
If you're not,
Correct.
so if your fountain is empty, how can you pour into others?
You can.
Okay? And I found myself just completely drained, working 7 days. My team wasn't working harder than me. They weren't working as much at me. You want to know why? I had the wrong team, or I wasn't using them correctly.
Yeah. You
Okay?
weren't delegating.
I'm a good delegator now. I know what's my responsibility. I know what's yours.
Got it.
And they're better at these things than me.
Wow.
You know, I got a call yesterday. There was some whatever issues, and they're like, so we can spend all this extra time doing it the way you want it, or we can do it the way you don't want it. And I said, well, I mean, obviously, you're going to do it the way I want it. So this isn't like, they told me there's 2 options. There's not 2 options.
No, there's only one.
Okay, I gave you a great time budget, right? Because I have a rule in the company. If I assign you a task, and I don't assign you the time for it, the time budget is due immediately.
Got it.
So I put that onus on them to say, whoa, because now it becomes like a fire brigade priority, or,
Right.
oh no, I don't need that today, I need that next week.
Got it.
Because I'll forget to do that.
Okay.
I put it on them, just like when it's the people who I do have report to me in some ways, I don't have a lot. When it's time for your review, you got to put it in my calendar. I'm not putting your pay review in calendar. If your money's not important to you, not important to me.
No, makes sense. That's discipline. You're helping them with structure. You're actually helping them with growth as well, because now they're taking ownership of every aspect of their life, financially, spiritually, emotionally, because all of those things are involved in coming and setting that time to say, hey, okay, you know, Mr. Lehmann, here's what I've done this year. Here's what my income should be. Here, you know, they're outlining, hoping that you'll agree to what their ask is.
Yeah.
And then you'll measure that ask based on performance.
Well, we have our paperwork for everybody, right? Okay, I got reviews coming this month for people. Like my business unit leaders, they get reviewed January for last year. Okay, we're not going to have any bad ones because I've weeded them out already. But they're going to have their paperwork. I'm going to have mine. Come prepared. I am taking the time to meet with you be prepared for me.
Makes sense.
Because if you're not and I am, maybe I made a mistake then.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because we want them to also take these rules, because they review their team. I don't. Like, there's a budget for this division, this company. You got to live within it.
Right.
And so you figure it out now. It's not my problem.
Right.
It's yours, right? Because we were here just a few weeks ago. We had all the business unit leaders in. We did a business pro forma for every company, expenses for the whole year. Monthly expenses by category. And, you know, one of the businesses I was going to lose money on. And so Susan, who is the co-owner of Sharper, so Sharper is Susan Sharper, right?
Okay.
He wanted to keep his wife happy.
I love it.
But when it comes to those details, she's amazing at it. So then I went to that business unit leader and said, you got to figure it out, because I was going to lose $19K for the year. Wow. I'm not going to run a business for a loss.
No.
Okay? And you know what? She came back the next day as she was supposed to, because it's a 2-day event, it was figured out.
Wow.
It wasn't my responsibility, because I'll just shut it down. Okay? Hey, I'm going to lose money. You're telling me for January through December, I'm going to lose? No. Can't, right?
Yeah.
But it was her, and she did.
Good.
Okay? You know, there's never any money in real estate brokerages. There's really not.
Right.
But how we figured things out, and we're only counting on my business as the numbers, that's what we can guarantee. But I'm not going to run it if I'm going to lose.
No, makes sense.
And so now we're not. Okay,
Right.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Good.
Okay? But I looked at the number, looked at her, fix or we get rid of. Done.
No, end of story.
And I put it, and then the next morning I got that text. Hey, I got to figure it out. Okay, great. Do you want to hear it? Nope. I'll see you in the meeting, right? Because it wasn't that time.
Got it.
It wasn't that time.
Got it. Okay.
But I love the fact that she did her job and figured it out, and
Makes
figured it out
sense.
well.
Good,
Okay.
good.
Because we align. She is so capable. She was going to give me her broker's license. Just
wow.
give it to me.
Wow.
And I said, so you're financially set for retirement? And she's like, no. So why don't we partner like this? And then I gave her the vision of how it could look.
Okay.
But I've known her since I did my first flip. She worked for a broker who I always told her would screw her in, and he did.
Wow.
Okay. She sold my second flip for him, which was because he made me a deal. Hey, I got a buyer for you, but I want to represent you on the next one. Okay, great.
Okay.
Okay, fantastic. I love it.
Absolutely.
You know, and this was before COVID made prices crazy. We've stayed friends.
Right.
When that whole thing fell apart, like I told her it would, because I know him. I know the snakes.
Right.
You know,
You see it.
Keep them right there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And she called me crying. I'm in a car with my wife. She calls me crying. I hit mute and I said, "I promise, baby, she's not pregnant." Because this is like a common theme. People who know me feel they can come and talk to me.
Absolutely.
And so my wife gets used to it, and she's such a good person because she put up with me anyway. Because I'm just like.
Well, you've got a great relationship.
Oh, yeah. Love of
That's
my
the key.
life, for sure. I did well. I'm not sure she thinks that way, but I did well. I reached up for sure.
Yeah, I love it. We should.
Yeah, we should. Like, you know,
I did too.
You know, 10 years younger,
Wow.
beautiful,
That's
right?
awesome.
You know?
Thank God. That's the blessing of God. Though.
I almost say, hey, girl, you're almost getting too old for me. Be careful. Bing, bang, boom, right? But this has happened before where people have called crying. I always say the same thing. She's like, shut up. Just shut up, she tells me now, right? But that's the relationships I build with people, okay? And now we partnered in growing something that's going to serve correctly. Both of us, our company, our needs, our clients, right?
It's mutual.
Yeah, but she was willing to give it to me. And most people would have just taken it.
Absolutely. You're not a taker.
No. I said, but why don't we build it like this? Like, I own 51%. It's a 50-50 partnership because there's got to be some kind of control because of how it interlocks.
Of course.
But it's her vision to grow it.
Right.
And then
you're supporting it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, because it's my financial dollar, right? I'm going to support you financially. I am their best cheerleader. That's my job.
Right.
Bring out the pom-coms, you know, got my legs shaved for them maybe, right? Because that's what I need to be.
Absolutely.
And when you need me to step in as more, I will.
Right.
But there's ramifications if you need me day to day.
Right.
You have to pay for me.
Correct.
It's not free either.
No.
But I'll come in and I'll teach agents courses for sure. I love teaching. I love giving that information back. That's free of charge. But if you need me for day-to-day stuff,
No,
I'm not that's not a good fit for me. Doesn't work, you know?
No.
No, we have a few minutes. I want you to dive into how you help people with your credit repair, because I know that's a passion for you.
It is.
You know, and having learned that, so I went to Rutgers, and there was I had to take summer school my first year because, I didn't realize that they actually tracked my grades. I was a football player. My first time away from home.
Oh my gosh.
And I wasn't monitored anywhere. And I was like, you mean they don't take attendance here? Okay. I have an idea. And so I had to go to school all summer.
Wow.
Okay. And spring break. Okay. One of them was a credit repair. It was a credit. It was an easy class. But it still resonates today because you know what it taught me? To send letters to the credit bureaus to dispute.
Right.
Because all it takes is one of those people to say, yeah, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then the other ones will follow.
Correct.
And that's still a good way of doing it.
Well, it's funny you say that. You touched on the letter right away, and the law puts the ownership. The ownership is on the consumer to know and monitor and protect their credit. It's not on the bureaus.
Right.
And if you think that's a joke, call the bureaus and ask them. It's easy to put something on your credit. It's very easy. Late payment, charge off, collections, even things that shouldn't be. I had a situation where we did a seller financing deal, and at some point the seller wanted their money, and so they decided to sell the loan to a bank. So for about 90%. Right. So not a bad deal. You got your cash right away. Right. You don't have to wait for 5 years for me to do the seller financing deal. Well, that bank turned around and put it on my credit. I said, whoa, I immediately sent an email to them and I said, you have less than 30 days to remove this off my credit report. If I wanted to get traditional financing where I went through and got my credit pulled, I'd have done that. But this is seller financing. You just acquired the note from the seller. I didn't go through you for financing. Take it off my credit. And they did. But had I not seen and monitored, then I would have never known. And so part of what we do with folks is understanding the power of credit, right? And we do 3 things in our role: credit repair, credit build, credit protect. Credit repair, you talked about the letters, right? So the law passed by Congress called the Fair Credit Reporting Act in 1971 gives every consumer the right to challenge anything and everything that negatively affects their credit scores. Most people don't do anything. A lot of folks that I talk to have their head in the sand. They're like, I don't know it, I don't want to know. They're afraid of it.
They're afraid of it.
You need to know it because then that's how you're able to take action.
Yeah.
So the dispute letters is a great way to do it. You can even call the bureaus, and folks can do this on their own, right? It's a very effective way to get things removed. And in fact, some of these platforms have made it easy. I know that on Credit Karma, you can dispute things on there.
But only one.
Correct.
You can dispute one with each bureau.
Correct. But with
you
the
can't
letters,
send hundreds of letters.
No, with the letters, you can do more, and the law gives them 30 to 45 days to respond.
Yeah.
What we like to see is delete, right? Because they remove that negative item. The other 2 responses, so there are 3 responses: deleted, paid as agreed, or verified as accurate. So we want to see delete. But if it's paid as agreed, that's good because that means they changed it to show that it's paid as agreed. But if it's verified as accurate, then we need to do another round of dispute. And so it's a process.
Oh, yeah.
So that's credit repair. Credit build, a lot of times when you and I talked about cash is king, credit is everything. 90% of the clients that I get that needs credit repair or needs credit advice or credit counseling, they have no credit cards. And they're taught by other financial gurus, cash is king, use cash for everything.
Don't be in debt.
Don't be in debt. And they don't even know what good debt is. You and I just talked about good debt. Like, we will never be debt free, you and I. Never.
I hope not.
In fact, no business professional, no business owner, no entrepreneur who understands financial literacy will ever be debt free. Because then you lose your leverage. Yeah. Right? And so when you understand that, you realize that debt is good if you repay it and you using other people's money to make money. So we help them get trade lines if they don't have any. Secured credit card is the quickest way to do it. And then, not to throw any credit cards out there, but Capital One is a great way to start. They're very easy to get. They're harder to get the increases on the lines, but they're easy to get when you're starting out to build
They decrease mine because I don't use it.
See, that's what I'm saying.
But I've had it forever.
Same here.
I don't care what the line amount is. Right? I'm not really going to use you because I have better ones. Right. But that length, like we talked about.
Credit, so that's the third piece, right? So after they get trade lines, then we want to make sure that we monitor their progress. How are you using those credit cards? So we track them through Smart Credit. That's the app that we use. Nice. It gives them all 3 reports: Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. It lets me know how they're using their credit cards. So client might get a call from me, and I'll say, hey, I noticed that your utilization is up, or I noticed that you have 2 more inquiries. What's going on? And so I dive deep with them. They're out maybe their score improved because of what we've done. Now they're out shopping for a car. Well, if your score is not so great, you go out to get a car. In theory, because they leave there worse than they went in, because they have to shop you around to find a bank that's going to take you. You're not an A plus. You're B, C, and D paper.
Yeah.
So they got to find a B, C, D bank to take you and give you a loan and take a risk because you're showing on paper that you're not worthy of a risk.
Right.
And so when they're done, you might be shopped around 10, 15. I've had a client shopped around 17 times. Well, every time your credit is pulled, it's 3 points. It drops 3 points. So do that times 17. You leave worse than you went in. And in most cases, because you're worse than when you went in, you don't get the car.
Right.
So what I tell my clients, Thomas, is if you got less than perfect credit and you're going to go buy a car, call me first. And when they call me, here's what I tell them. Walk into that dealership, know what your credit score is because the app tells them what it is. Negotiate the deal first, get the numbers that you want, get everything that you want negotiated first, and then get it in writing. Once you agree, here's my social. But what the dealership wants you to do is, hey, give me your social, because they want to see what you can get.
Oh, yeah.
They want to make sure that you're not wasting their time. But what happens is now, if you didn't get that car, you gave them 10, 15, 17 inquiries. Your score went down 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 points, and you don't have the car, right? And if you do get the car, you're at between 19 and 28%. I've had those stories as well.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
So it's best that you take action and clean it up first. So that's credit build, right? And then with that protection piece with smart credit, it also helps me to be more targeted about how you're using those credit cards. So I told you I've got 20 credit cards. If a client, and I don't recommend more than 3, by the way. I have a renter that called me for one of my listings that I put up for a client in Lakeland. And
love Lakeland.
Yeah, I do too. It's a beautiful place to work, man. And they have one card. She's a teacher. And I said, the challenge that you're having, I said, may I speak to you freely? She said, yeah, my credit was great. But you're going to see that it went down because we have one credit card and it's maxed out. I said, well, let's teach.
Get you some more.
Yeah, let's get you 2 more. Yeah. And with 3, you can put a little on each one and stay under the utilization, which is 30%.
30%.
That's it. So when I share that with her, she was enlightened, right? That's teaching someone stuff that they don't know. So smart credit lets me now target what credit card you're using the most of. Instead of giving you a shotgun approach, I can say, okay, Thomas, you've got 10 cards here, but on the MasterCard, you're using 60%. Let's pay that down, and then across the board, you'll be at 30% utilization.
Right. So
we've been doing this now since 2014. We've helped hundreds of clients restore their credit and go on to become homeowners. And so I love that because we're not taught this in school. Nobody talks about credit in school.
I blew up my first couple of credit cards. Let me tell you.
And in fact, when I was at Disney and as an ambassador, I was in Norfolk, Virginia, because we go there and we just thank the military for what they do, and they really did a great job hosting me. But one of the things that I learned is about predatory lending on the military bases.
Oh, yeah.
These guys,
payday loans. Yeah. Oh, they're bad.
And they ruin their credit.
Yep.
And so our goal is to now provide that education to them as well, so they understand the power of credit, how to use credit cards responsibly, pay your bills on time. And if you do that, then you can do 1 or 2 things. One, when you're paying on time, you don't have to call, and I don't have to call, but you can call. They'll increase your line. You've experienced that all the time. But the backlash of that, if you don't use it, they either decrease it, and if it's over 12 or 24 months of non-use, they'll close it. So
yeah, we never get there.
Okay, good.
I'll throw on like a little Capital One hit there or there. I think I have it set up for like DoorDash or something.
Yeah, and just pay it off, to your point.
Right.
But you got that tray line open.
Yeah.
I had a Best Buy credit card closed on me because I didn't use it, and I'm not a fan of store-brand cards, so I don't do that. In fact, when people go to Kohl's and these stores and dealers, if dealers are still around,
I'm good.
And they ask, well, we give you 20% off, 30%. I said, don't do those.
Yeah.
Because you can only use it at those stores.
Yeah, it's a waste.
Get a major credit card, Visa, MasterCard, Discover. Absolutely. And so my
What's
Best
the line?
Buy
It's everywhere you want to be for one of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they closed it, and then it was down. My score dropped 30%.
Yeah.
So don't be one of those consumers that go out there and every time they say, hey, we give you 20% off, you're pulling your credit, because that's also a hard inquiry.
Oh yeah.
So get 3 major credit cards, stay on a 30% utilization, pay that bill on time, and then.
I do a lot of shopping at Walgreens and Dick's, right? And they always ask you 2 things. Do you want to donate?
I love
and do you want a credit card?
Oh, wow.
So when I go to the register, I'm going to tell them, if I don't want your credit card, but I'm going to donate, don't put the button up there. It's a hard no. I'm going to give you extra, but don't ask me about your dumb card, right?
Yeah, I don't want it.
I don't want it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And they sell it so good because they talk about all the perks, the discounts.
I don't even have
thank you.
like an airline card. They always try to. Me and my Chase cards were like this.
Yeah.
Right.
But you get points from Chase, right?
So look, my business Chase cards are hooked up to Amazon.
Wow.
It is the ultimate instant gratification that doesn't cost.
Wow.
It's like, I don't care if Amazon's coming, I'm good. If it's not Amazon, I'm not good.
Got it.
So we're wrapping up in a minute, and thank you, man. What an amazing day, right? I didn't ask any of the questions, and we touched on every one of them, by the way. I looked at them like, oh, we're good.
We did.
So, parting nugget to the audience.
Yes. One, I'll say, Thomas, I'm so glad that everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely.
The day that I saw this thing on Facebook and your face popped up, your voice, your number, and we're meant to be where we're meant to be, right?
Absolutely.
And that moment happened. I know that because as you mentioned before when we came on the show, we connected 18 months prior, and then nothing happened. And then I saw you on Facebook, and I'm like, wow. I've got to reach out to Tom. And I called you that same day you picked up, and then boom, I got through, and here we are today, right? So,
because you're in my phone.
Yes.
Your name's in my phone. That's why you got through.
Take care of you. Yeah, we're not getting younger. Of all the things that we talked about, your time is important. I got through because it was meant to happen. Your time is important. Value your time. Value your loved ones. We're not promised tomorrow, right? You have today, and today is it. So do what you need to do today. Let your loved ones know you love them, right? Mend those broken relationships. But you've got to take care of you. And I know that a lot of times we don't think about our health. I'm like you, I'm not on any pills. Thank God we're not.
Vitamins, supplements only.
I take that, and I do a baby aspirin. My doctor told me I should do that. So that's the only thing I take. Have I been told to take other medication? Yes. But I realize that God has given so much natural herbs and
we're going to get to that point where we have to. Let's not hurry it.
Exactly. And so I was given blood pressure medication. I was given heart medication. I don't take any of those things, and I'm not advising you not to take anything that you're given. Because if you take care of you, if you watch your diet, if you meditate, if you exercise, you do all of those things. You know how many young guys that I know that were starting to take medication for blood pressure and cholesterol, and I was able to get them off of it because I said, guys, you're too young for that. Like you said, we're going to get there.
We're going to get there.
But why rush it?
Yeah.
If you do some things, that you got to move.
But it's discipline. It's the discipline applied in your life daily across all of it.
Absolutely.
How you do one thing is how you should do them all. Correct. Because if you're slack here, it's going to find its way over.
It will.
Because it's going to be in your brain. Well, this is how I do it. And you want to be, no, this is how I do it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. So take care of you. Because once you do that, then you can take care of others. You and I are able to do what we do for others because we are healthy. God has given us strength. We thank Him for the breath that we have. We wake up this morning, and so now I'm able to help folks in my nonprofit like you, help folks buy a home, realize the American dream, help folks fix their credit. But if I didn't take care of me, if I was not the example, if my credit wasn't excellent, if I wasn't financially fit, then how can I help somebody else?
Right.
Now I'm really... You heard the term fake it till you make it? A lot of folks are out there faking it, but they're not making it. And so we're not going to fake it. There's no reason to fake it.
No.
You can make it, but you got to take the steps to make it. And it's got to start with you. You got to take that ownership. You got to take the responsibility. And if you start with you, then everything else will fall into place. So start with you. Take care of yourself.
Agreed. And my last statement on that is, if you're thinking fake it till you make it, no. But your message. Letting people know the ups and downs, the hardship of what you've gone through to get somewhere.
Absolutely.
That's more real, and you will have a better relationship with people over it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much.
All right, everybody, in layman's terms, we'll catch you next time.